Welcome back, my lovely citizens. Today we are going to be going over a Mew Vmax list. And this list is interesting because it is a Fusion Strike Mew list that also plays Accelgor for the Roaring Moon matchup, and in my experience has been super favored into that particular matchup. To start, we have 2 Mew Vmax and 3 Mew V. These ones are obviously the main attacker of the deck. You can loop Mew Vmaxes by copying Psychic Leap, you can copy Technoblast for big damage, or you can max Miracle to hit through effects of things and hit for 130. Obviously, Mew is the focus of the deck. Mew's been out for a while. We all know what Mew does at this point. Genesect allows you to draw a card for each Fusion Strike Pokemon you have in play until you have that many cards in hand, so you can draw up to 6 in hand. Each one of them can be used individually. You can use Fusion Strike System once for every Genesect. So if you have 6 Pokemon on your field that are all Fusion Strike Pokemon, you can draw until you have 6 cards in hand, up to 4 times. In addition to that, we have 2 Accelgor. This is the interesting card from this list. It is a 90 HP Pokemon that has an attack called Ninja Tornado, that if it came up from the bench on this turn, it can be used for a singular Grass Energy, which in this case, Fusion Strike Energy counts as Grass Energy. We can also use the DTE to set it up if we don't have the ability to pivot after our initial Ninja Tornado. So we can Ninja Tornado, knock out a Roaring Moon, and if they happen to not be able to knock out the Accelgor, we can attach DTE, use Power Tablet, and then knock out the next one. In addition to that, we have 2 Shelmet to evolve from. It's very nice that this has 70 HP, which means that it is less susceptible to getting Yoga Looped versus Valiant. And then we have 1 Meloetta. I think in any Fusion Strike build you should have at least 1 Meloetta, because Melodious Echo is an attack that can be used on the first turn of the game if you go attach Fusion Strike Energy and Alessa Sparkle to Meloetta and another target. You can swing for 210 plus whatever power tablets you use in that game, which means that this is a very good attacker turn 1 of the game. Now, getting into the supporter line, it's a very thin supporter line because we have so much draw with Genesect. We have 2 Alessa Sparkle for accelerating 2 Fusion from our deck to our Pokemon in play, 2 Boss's Orders for being able to gust up normally 2 prizers because we want to go 2-2-2 throughout the game, 1 Judge for Shuffle Disruption, able to shuffle our hand down to 4, shuffle our opponent's hand down to 4. This lets us get our hand size down so we can draw more off Genesect. And then we have Iono, which can either just be a straight up put stuff on the bottom and draw 6 at the beginning of the game, or as the game goes on, it scales more with how many prizes your opponent has taken, and the less prizes that you have remaining, the more cards you can draw off Genesect. So Iono is very beneficial. Then we have 4 Battle VIP Pass, so we can get set up at the start of the game, search our deck for 2 basic Pokemon, but only on turn 1. Very insane. If we hit a Battle VIP Pass or 2, we're normally just rolling for the entire game, because we can grab Genesect, draw more cards, normally draw into another Battle VIP Pass, get completely set up. It's also a great target for Cram-O-Matic, which we'll go over in a bit. We have 4 Ultra Balls, discard 2 cards from our hand to search our deck for a Pokemon. This is great for grabbing our Accelgors, our Mew VMAXs, and just thinning out our hand to be able to use Genesects to draw as many cards as possible. Then we have 1 Nest Ball for another basic search, and 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball for getting things off prizes. Since we're playing a 2-3 Mew VMAX line, we may want to get a Mew out of prizes if we prize like 1 or 2 of them. We only play 2 Shelmets, so if we prize one of them, we're probably going to want to get the other one out versus Roaring Moon, or the Meloetta at the very beginning of the game if we want to go for a big turn 1 knockout. Then we have 4 Cram-O-Matics. These let us discard an item card to search our deck for any card, if we flip heads on them. So you discard an item card, flip a coin, if heads, search your deck for any card. So it's Forest Sealstone on a coin flip, but you have to discard an item card, which is why it's great to be able to discard the Battle VIP passes. We now have 4 Power Tablets. These are great for damage modification. For each one we play, it does our Fusion Strike Pokemon do 30 more damage from their attacks, which does stack, so you can do up to 120 more damage by just playing Power Tablets. Although that's only if you have all 4 of them at once. Then we have 2 switches and 2 escape ropes for pivoting. These 2 for just switching normally. Normally you'll switch into a Mew, free retreat back into the Accelgor, so you can swing for 120 again. Or, if you have Mew Vmax, you'll retreat, switch back into the Mew, and be able to use Techno Blast again. And then escape rope for phasing things, but also just being another switching effect. Then we have 2 Lost Vacuum, great for getting rid of any extra tools we have, thinning out our hand, or getting rid of opponents' paths, or our own path if we want to get rid of it to continue drawing with Genesect, because we are playing a path to try and path lock our opponent. We have 1 Pal Pad for shuffling back our 6 supporters. It gives us more options throughout the game. It's always good to have a Pal Pad in a deck with so little supporters. Then we have 2 Forest Seal Stone. Search our deck for any card once a game as long as it's attached to a V. 1 Choice Belt for the extra damage, so we can reach higher numbers. And then a Tool Jammer, which is very good into Roaring Moon because we can shut down the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule to be able to actually KO it more effectively. Then we have 2 Lost City for lost zoning those pesky Drapions that people may be playing to try and counter Mew. People are playing Drapion a lot less nowadays, but Lost City is still useful in other matchups, especially versus things like Sablezard. But if they are playing the Drapion, you need to be able to Lost Zone it, or else you just kind of lose to them putting the Drapion back into their deck and then swinging with it again. We have 1 Town Store, so we can search out any of our tools. This is basically a 3rd out to Forest Seal Stone, 2nd out to Choice Belt, or 2nd out to Tool Jammer, which I really like, in addition to all of the other search we have in terms of Crambomatic. And then we have the 1 Path to the Peak, so in the late game we can either go Judge or Iono, and try and stick them behind a path. And then we have, and these were not in order for whatever reason, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Fusion Strike Energy, which we will put right there, and then we have 3 Double Turbo Energy. The Fusion Strike Energies can be accelerated with Alessa, they're a rainbow so they can be used for anything. They protect from abilities, which means that if you turn 1, attach 1 to a Shelmet, it's protected from not Yoga Loop, it's protected from the pings from Valiant, the Tachyon bits. And it's just all around good. You can get an attack off in a single turn even without double turbo energy. You can attack with Meloetta turn 1. Fusion Strike Energy is a fantastic card. And then we have 3 double turbo energies, so we can just attach them to our Mew VMAX to use Cross Fusion Strike to copy Genesect. It's just a 1 energy attach that lets us attack. It's fantastic. So I hope you all enjoy this list. This list is fantastic into Roaring Moon, decent into most other decks. I think that this deck is insane in this format. I know that there is also a variant going around that's basically DTE Mew, but with like 2 Grass, 1 Fusion, and the Accelgor line. But personally, I've found the Fusion Strike build of this to be way more consistent and have way more options. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know if there's any other decks you want me to cover. And leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will catch y'all later.